Good morning. This is Pixie, and the video I'm going to do today is going to basically cover my experience yesterday. I was asleep, and my sleep was interrupted, so I woke up twice. The first time I woke up, I felt like something was touching my leg, or something was doing something to my left leg, and there was almost these points, like pressure points on my leg, where it felt like kind of hurting, almost like a slight pin had hit your skin, or this. In my mind, this was like acupressure points had been pressed. I thought that's really strange, and then I further went on to basically go to my next dream state I was having, and I could feel like something large was sort of encircling me, so it's coming over from my head as I was resting, as I was asleep, and then I kind of started to become conscious, and it was a sort of what we would call an alpha draconis type being, and what he was doing was I felt these sort of like pinpricks across my face all the way down. What he was doing, he had basically had my head in his mouth. He was eating me. So and then this basically makes sense to some of these weird experiences I've been having recently. They're almost like inserted memories, screen memories. Just very vivid memories, as if I'm in places at different locations, and then it all sort of started to click. A while back, you'll see on the TV actually, they advertise about you can check your heritage out and basically check out your DNA, and it'll tell you, your sort of genetic background, any sort of potential diseases or problems, where you are from, and everything else like that. I mean, I've got a varied mixed bloodline, so I'm sort of I think for 40%, let's see, 40% North European and 60% European. So the 40 is probably more the English side of it, and then the rest is come across from Europe, and that sort of combination. And then the ancestry of my father's bloodline is possibly area in France. I think the Basque so for him, and then with my mother also has sort of a French connection in there as well, and there's some other genes that he claims. One links me back to my family name to Irish royalty, so it's kind of interesting. But then again, with the actual research, I've probably done about 50% of it on my own. I've just supplied the information across. Anyway, basically with my DNA, as off-world is a currency you use your DNA for, and it looks like someone's traded my DNA, has gone into a sort of galactic. There's some other sort of, so when I was having these screen memories, I drifted off asleep in my sofa, as I explained a couple of days ago, and then I woke up and it was like vivid, as if there was a pint across with me, and drinking it, and I thought that's nice, but it didn't make any sense. But it was so vivid, as if I just basically looked at it, closed my eyes, and then I reappeared somewhere else. So that was odd, and I've had these experiences where you wake up and I'm in a graze kind of body, in some sort of vessel. That basically, I think that's when you can sort of transmute your consciousness into another body, and these grey bodies are quite popular. That's why these synthetic, that's why they're throughout the universe used as these kind of robot type things. So if you're ever in a situation where you feel possibly you are cloned, like you start kind of sleep and you start having this other image of somewhere else, and you don't feel like you're part of a dream, like free floating, you're actually tied into a physical consciousness, then you should need to basically pilot that body. So I mean, if I were in a situation where I see a Draconis trying to chomp me up, I'm just going to punch him and do whatever I can do to cause him enough of a headache as possible. He'd probably enjoy it, to be honest, but the idea of being eaten is a bit odd, and now I understand why these celebrities. So in essence, it's a kind of turning people into like a voodoo dolls, by using clone bodies to manipulate their actual real physical bodies. But I mean, another way of thinking of it, if you had two remote control vehicles running the same bandwidth, you had one controller. If you use that controller, basically both of the vehicles would move in the same direction, or would do the same as that signal's information's given it. So that's pretty similar to what happens with a human. The impact of doing something to that body has a touch-on effect with the other person, or the other body, basically. So you will experience discomfort or whatever. Even people that talk about being raped and stuff at night and all these odd things, they actually might be. There might be nowhere in their sort of energy field. They might actually have a cloned duplicate of them that they're using in some way. So that's quite concerning, but I'd say at least pilot some resistance. Some of it I won't. It's a bit. I mean, but I've started just meditate and focus on it. There's another sort of really sort of unusual being. I mean, he's possibly related to the Greys, but he's very mushroom-like, his face. In that he's got sort of like puffed up, sort of this brain part of it. He's got a very thin face, just two very dark round eyes stuck in there, so he's almost aquatic, and his mouth has got a small sort of mouth there, and he's looking at me, and I was wondering what am I, and I was looking around, and I could see these brains in jars, so I'm assuming that I'm just sort of like an animated brain or head. I mean, maybe that was left over from dessert from this Alpha Draconis, which is probably quite horrid. And I just really got to look at the ways in which I can influence this form if I am being used off-world. And I think this is what other people need to do, is now you're aware of it, is operate this resistance. It could be that I try to influence this Draco's being in some way, because now by eating me or using my own DNA, I've become in essence a part of him. But he's not cooking up his food, put it that way. He eats things raw. This is a bit unusual. Unusual for humans. So I can might be able to influence certain things. So yeah. Anyway, I'll continue my research on this. I thought there's something to raise about the dreamscapes and what we could call galactic voodoo. Basically, that's probably the best way to put it. And then just mounting a defence against it. The more spiritual you become, the more influence you have over your DNA. If your DNA is, like I say, taken elsewhere, you still have a connection to it, so you can still influence it. And also, when you go to a place, if you kind of astral travel there, like, where am I, where's my body, and then you see yourself somewhere else, you can use your consciousness to try to pilot other bodies as well. I did see earlier there was Hillary Clinton, as well as several clone bodies. It's a bit bizarre, and she's fully aware of them as well. So, because I could see in this jar, asking why am I awake or something, she was saying, and then these other bodies that are flying around. The other scary thing is that Donald Trump also has these cloned bodies. So they've made him in preparation, I think, for his presidency when that occurs. They don't mind who runs the shop. They just want to make sure that they pay the shopkeeper in essence, or get them to do what they need to do. So yeah, so they might use this to influence him. So this is Pigsy signing off for this video. I hope it's useful.